I can man the buzzer. I think Michael was saying he was going to keep time, but so talk to him if you want to change that up. All right, for the record, you are now being streamed. Congratulations.
And we're about to start. Okay. We only have 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we're going to get started here quickly. Only 2 rules. You buzz in, we recognize you, you answer correctly, you get the points. You get 1 bonus. Maximum 15 points per question. 20 questions in the round. If you win the round, you advance to semifinals. If you don't win the round and you're one of the 2 remaining highest scoring second place teams, you also make the semifinals. 9 semifinals, 3 make the finals. Winner, you take home whatever object they've crafted this year for you.
Yeah!
Okay. Everyone ready? Let's have the teams briefly introduce themselves. What's your name and where are you from?
Okay, we're Fefa and the Johns. We're from Florida. That's
We know that. We saw the shirts.
We're Luni Wisco from Wisconsin.
Yeah! Wisconsin!
We're from all over. We're Team SPQR, but the S is the cool S.
That's a cool S. I did look for a Unicode S to, take the cool one, but it's in comma. Try to be a combination of all letters of all kids. Okay. This is the 2023 World Series of Certamen. My name is Michael Kearney. You've probably heard me speak a lot of Certamen rounds this year. You're probably sick of my voice. Sucks to suck. This is toss-up 1, round 1 for any player on any team. Welcome to the 2023 World Series of Certamen, brought to you by our corporate sponsor, Hi. I hope that this is a fun event and that everyone, players and spectators, walk away confident in the direction that our event is heading. With that in mind, using praefectus to mean organizer, please translate the following sentence into English. Praefecti Certamenis hoc anno multo meliores
C3. The organizers of Certamen in this year are much better than the organizers last year.
Nicely done. Now translate this sentence. Spero questiones extremae difficultatis rogatum iuri.
A future passive infinitive already.
I hope that questions of greatest or difficulty are about to be asked.
Yeah, that's correct. We actually have the wrong answer on our page. We wanted, I hope that questions of extreme difficulty will not be asked, but you gave me the correct translation. And that's 15 points. Clear the buzzer, please. Here's toss-up 2. The focus of an annual festival in Parker County, Texas. What fruit was acclimated to?
A3.
Peach.
Yes, thank you. Was acclimated to Belgica by the Romans around the early Principate, was known as the Persian apple, and is the official state fruit of Georgia. Here's your first bonus. The actress who voices Princess Peach in the hit 2023 Super Mario Bros. Movie, Anya Taylor-Joy, also starred in a Netflix series that might have its title rendered into Latin as Dolus Reginae. In that role, at what convention event might we expect Miss Taylor-Joy to excel?
Oh, that's me. Louis Chess.
That's correct. Why do you say that's you?
Because I'm too counting.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. So that's the full 15 points for Team A on toss-up 2, and here's toss-up 3. I thought you were saying you were good at Louis Chess, but
No, I'm not.
Here's toss-up 3. From what Latin noun do all of the words described here ultimately derive? A scented ointment applied to style a man's hair. The rounded knob at the end of the sword. A Roman goddess were the story of Iphis and Anaxarete.
A1.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat for Team PNC. scented ointment applied to style a man's hair?
C3. Homum?
Homum is correct. Identify the three words described in the toss-up that all derive from homum.
Can you repeat the words in the toss-up?
A scented ointment applied to style a man's hair. You wouldn't know much about that. The rounding mouth. A Roman goddess word of the story is Iphis and Anaxarete in a conversation with the disguised Vertumnus.
So, pomade, pomona, and pommel.
That is correct. The full 15. Here's the toss-up four. Responde Anglice. In quo ludo, qui ab epicis ludis creatus est, videas competitoris.
A4.
World Series of Cartomen.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat for teams B and C. Responde Anglice. In quo ludo, qui ab epicis ludis creatus est, videas competitoris salutantes, et munitiones edificantes, et alios competitores necantes.
C1.
Fortnite.
Fortnite is correct.
Middle school.
Responde Anglice. In eodem ludo, quae cantatrix carmen nomine septem angulos cecinit?
Can you repeat, please?
Responde Anglice. In eodem ludo, quae cantatrix carmen nomine septem angulos cecinit? Give me something.
I defer to C1.
Among Us.
We're looking for Ariana Grande.
Did Ariana come in?
That was more of an Among Us type
She's
answer than anything else. Okay, so in this question, I'm supposed to pass out the visual, but due to budget cuts, we only have one visual. So I'm gonna hold it up, and you're gonna buzz, and I'm gonna read the question. So you love nothing but the theft itself. Who understands sins? Laughter quickened our hearts at the thought of deceiving all the people who did not suspect such an action from us. This excerpt was written by what man, who in his 13-book autobiography recounted how he stole from his neighbor's trees some pears.
C3. Augustine.
Augustine is correct. And reflecting on the nature of sin in his Confessiones. Here's your bonus. In what iconic television series might a merchant have written a diametrically opposite passage, lamenting the number of times his precious brassicae were destroyed by some hooligans?
Or C1.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's correct.
My God.
I know, these are questions for you.
I didn't know either.
So at 5 questions, our score is
After the first 5 questions, Team Fefe and the Johns has 15 points. Team Ludi Ludi Wisco is yet to score, and Team SPQR is at 55.
Wisconsin!
JCL. Next question. Toss up six. There are many stories in mythology and literature of strange recognitions, like how Aegeus recognized Theseus by his sword, Diomedes recognizes Polystra and Rudens by the writing in a chest, and of course it is the unique manner of how Lycus recognizes the man he was searching for in the Satyricon. But Physalis and Acmon didn't recognize that
A2.
Heracles is correct, that their doom was upon them until they were face to butt with what man? Their black bottom's captor. Here's your first bonus. In the Satyricon, whom does Lycus recognize despite his attempts at disguise by? Let's say, using the sense of touch rather than sight or sound.
Could you repeat, please?
No. competition, there are nominally 4 of these. Although there are allegedly 5 in lower levels of competition, there are often only 3 due to crossless
B4.
History question.
history questions. One of these types of questions that ask about figures from Augustus to Zenobia. Here's your bonus. What titan of the Certamen industry labels certain customs questions as social history to justify their place as one of the 4 history questions allotted per round in his hubristically self-named online tournaments?
J.D. Luongo.
No, it's Michael Green!
Oh, you're on tournaments. I wasn't listening. Yes.
I wonder I'm doing the actual detail
Well, you did cheer for Florida.
That is 10
Well, you
points.
said Titan, that just threw me off right away.
I didn't like that. I don't know who wrote that.
Ask about that must look.
Here's toss-up 8.
I think you just.
What is the only vowel that, when placed between the letters N and X, does not produce a Latin noun?
A3.
A.
That's correct. There is no such thing as nax. Here's your first bonus. Give the meanings for nex, nix, nox, and nukes.
Okay. Nex is death. Nox is night. Nux is nut. And Nix is snow. Alright, that's my answer.
That's correct. So that's the full 15 points for Camp 1 wasn't on toss-up 8. And we're going to move on to toss-up 9. Okay, here's toss-up 9. So, follow me here. You're going to translate the following sentences mostly into English. But in order to keep the spirit of the joke, 2 of the words will need to be translated into French, not English. With that said, please translate the joke. Cur gali duo ova non consumat, quod unum ovum satis est. I'll repeat, just the Latin. Cur gali duo ova non consumat.
A3.
Why don't 2 chickens eat 1 egg? Because all is enough.
I'll repeat the Latin. Cur gali duo ova non consumat, quod unum ovum satis est. I've read the question 3 times. If there's C1.
C1.
Why don't the French eat eggs? Because one isn't enough?
That's incorrect. I've read the question through twice. There's no buzzes from Team B. I'm going to call time.
Is the joke all is enough?
Why don't the French eat eggs or eat 2 eggs? Because 1 egg is en œuf. Enough. Not her best work. Not her best work. Moving on to toss-up 10. Translate the following sentence that expresses some of my thoughts about this year's event into English. Utinam nobis plus temporis esse.
A3.
Would that we had more time?
Yeah, if only we had more time, would that we had more time is correct. That's what I like to call Certamen English. You'd never say that in a normal sentence, but we'll see. Here's your first bonus. Now translate this sentence. Proximo anno, si plus temporis non detur, hoc eventum non fiat.
That's so sad. It's like next year, if more time should not be given, this event will not be made.
That's fine. That's 15 points for these people.
It's okay.
At the halfway mark, Team Pepe and the Johns is at 55, Team Ludi Ludi Wisco is at 10, and Team SPQR is also at 55.
It's me! Come on, gentlemen, let's go! You lie! In your eyes! You waste time! You must be getting shot! I absolutely lost! They're on fire! They're on fire! You guys are on fire, Wisconsin!
Okay, toss you. The first time that Emory University hosted a convention, it was 1991. The second time was 2014. And now we're here in 2023. A much shorter turnaround time. Math tells us that there were 8 other NJCL conventions between Emory 2 and Emory 3, with the caveat that online will not count as an answer, but the universities where convention would have been held will count. Give any 3.
A3.
Fargo, like NDSU, Virginia, and Troy.
That's incorrect.
C3.
North Dakota State University, Louisiana Lafayette, and San Diego State University.
That's correct.
He is putting this team on his back.
True.
Ridiculous.
I'm to read you the list. University of Louisiana Lafayette, San Diego State, University of Richmond, North Dakota State, Miami of Ohio, Troy, University of Indiana, Bloomington, and Trinity University. Please be honest. The NJCL website has the next 3 convention sites listed, 2 of which are included among the schools in the toss-up. Give all 3 of those schools.
Do I need to officially defer? Yeah.
UT Miami, Indiana.
Please be more specific.
University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
That's
Miami,
that's
Ohio.
Oh, okay.
I just
Sorry,
want
what's
to be,
the
I
school?
want to be respectful to the Texas and
Oh,
it's their
I'm sorry. We were a
We
school
came
when Texas was
first.
in the state.
Go Balls!
So that is 15 points for these people on top of 11. And we'll move on to top 12. The neat thing about mythological family trees is that the closer you get to the trunk, the less they form. In that vein, if you trace back the 8 great-grandmothers of Apollo and Artemis, they are all which primordial goddess?
C3.
Rhea. That's incorrect.
A1.
Gaia.
B-A-B-A!
Here's your bonus. Which deity is Heracles? Which deity, you're really going to have to pay attention, is Heracles' mother's father's father's mother's father's 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 father, and also his mother's father's 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 father, and probably more helpfully, also his father's father.
So Heracles gave it. Heracles' father's father.
So his granddad.
That's awful. Why'd you do that? Kronos.
We defer.
Yeah.
That's correct. I just read what's in front of me. So that's 15 points for this team on top of 12, and we'll move on to toss-up 13. What streaming show has episodes that could have had their titles rendered into Latin as Modo non simul, Figurae Lucis, a premiere episode that could be titled Aves non canunt, dolens ululans, and a title that itself could be put into Latin as Caro Bovum?
A3.
Flesh of cows.
C3.
Yes, with a good steak.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat for Team B. All the other stuff that I said, and I said Caro Bovum at the end.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
What streaming show has episodes that could have their titles rendered into Latin as Modo non simul, Figurae Lucis, a premiere episode that could be titled Aves non canunt, dolens ululunt, and a title that itself could be put into Latin as Caro Bovum? Oh, I can't give you C1 again. Anyone from Team B?
There are rules. World Series.
We're looking for
Beef.
beef.
Oh, yeah, I would do that.
Listen carefully to the following passage. Which Deuteronomy?
A3.
Difficulty scriptum.
That's incorrect. Listen carefully to the following passage for teams B and C. Which Deuteronomy time constraints I will read once, then answer in English the questions that follow. Aurelia, lata ad Americam magno magico autonita stete. Pro Aurelia erat duo theatra. Unum theatrum habet maximum illuminatum signum, cum verbo Barbie. Altrum theatrum habet signum, cum verbo Oppenheimer. Aurelia, haesitans, dixit, utraque pictura movens spectem, homo per ambulans, auditus verba Aureliae, respondet?
B4. Barbenheimer?
That's incorrect.
C3.
Ambo?
That's incorrect. So the passage finished, cur non ambi, and then the question was, in 3 English words, translate the response of the passerby, why not? So, right track, but not there. So that's no points for any students. If you want to know what happens next, ready? Here's task 15. What 2 places are described in this probably apocryphal quote from Plato's Critias? There was a warrior class, originally set apart by divine men, that resided primarily in...
B2.
Is that your complete answer? I'm gonna call time. I'll repeat for teams A and C. There was a warrior class, originally set apart by divine men, that resided primarily in Cop City. It was inhabited by 5 sets of male twins, as well as the group Migos. Some say that its lowest point came when it tried to invade Athens from far beyond the pillars of Heracles, while others say it was when its football team blew a 28-3 Super Bowl lead.
C3.
Atlantis and Atlanta.
That's correct. I feel so bad. It's saying to the sea due to its hubris, or maybe will yet be submerged in Chick-fil-A sauce and Coke. Here's your first bonus. For your bonus, you can either have a classical question about Atlanta, or a non-classical question about Atlantis. Take your pick.
Or a classical.
Let's go non-classical Atlantis.
Okay. What's DC comic supervillain, also known as Nanaue, acts as an adversary to Aquaman and Atlantis, and could have his name rendered in Latin as Rex Squatinarum? I need an answer.
Squid King.
No, we're looking for King Shark.
Oh,
You're on the right track. When you had said King of Sharks, which you might have said, I would say no and tell you to get better at easy
After 15, Team Fefe and the Johns has 70, Team Ludi Ludi Wisco is at 10, and Team SPQR has 8.
That was frankly pathetic. Here's top 16. I'm talking about this. Translate the following heartfelt sentiment from Latin to English. Cum adere hibum per feceritis, exi a triclinio.
C1.
When the food was finished, I left from the dining hall.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat for teams A and B. Translate the following heartfelt sentiment from Latin to English. Cum adere hibum per feceritis, exi a triclinio.
A3.
When you will finish eating the food, I left the triplet.
It's incorrect.
B4.
When you were finished eating the food, leave the dining room.
Yes. I appreciate it. When you finish, get out of the dining hall. Now translate this equally heartfelt sentiment. Eram valde exoriens, sed non poteram adere, quod non poteram furcam reperire. Eram valde exoriens, by Senate decree after their death.
B2.
Nicely done. What process by which the empire tried to decline them from existence? Although the takeover of the World Series of Certamen is technically labeled as hostile, in the future, we here at Wasak Inc., LLC, intend to honor the memory of what man who faithfully steered our ship of state for more than a decade. I need an answer, please. No, we're looking for Chris Sloan. Chris Sloan, the founder of World Series. The winner of the Ed Finkel Award. That's 10 points for our middle team here on toss of 17, and here's toss of 18. Hostile takeovers and plots to run things with or without knowledge of the people affected are nothing new to Latin literature. Identify the speaker and the addressee of the following lines. Sed quis erit modus.
C2.
The speaker is Cicero and the recipient is Catiline.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat for team A and B. Sed quis erit modus, aut quo nunc certamine tanto, quin potius pacem aeternam pactosque hymeneos exercemus, habis tota quod mente petisti, ardet amans vido traxitque per ossa furor.
A3.
Anna Aeneas.
That's incorrect. I'll repeat for team B. Just once. Sed quis erit modus, aut quo nunc certamine tanto, quin potius pacem aeternam pactosque hymeneos exercemus, habes tota.
B2.
Dido to
No, so we're looking for Juno speaking to Venus. Let's have both. So that's no points on toss of 18. Move on to toss of 19. Okay, here's toss of 19. For Rhoda is an acknowledgement that opens what work?
A1.
Trips Guide to Mythology.
Trips Guide to Mythology. Arranged by a children's literature author who became the editor-in-chief at Yale University Press, that ranges from Zmintha to the Abantes, was originally called Clavel's Handbook, and is sometimes called the Meridian of Doors. Trip. The myth book. Notice one. Like seemingly every source book, Trip has a fair number of errors. Just like this round. One error that happens twice is an inability to get, just like me, one error that happens twice is an inability to get what two Greek islands correct, which do sound vaguely similar but have vastly different stories.
Lemnos and Lesbos.
Lemnos and Lesbos is correct. Okay, so with one question to go, I want to know if we have any challenges outstanding.
I'd like a challenge for Ticket Killing Script 2.
You already made that joke. No, sorry.
I thought the pummel was on the hill or on the bottom, sort of on the tip.
I think that's what the hell
He said so.
The round knob at the end of the sword, so I guess it's just kind of one end. And the end.
The other end.
Okay, with nothing else left and the schedule to maintain, let's get our score.
Going into the final toss-up of the preliminary round, Team Fefe and the Johns is at 85, Team Ludi Ludi Wisco is at 35, Team SBQR is at 80.
We're cutting that off. Here's toss of 20. Hostile takeovers are common in the business world. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they destroy the very company they take over. One ancient man definitely achieved the last of these when his hostile takeover installed some foederati in the C-suite, exiled the CEO's 11-year-old Nepo son to Naples.
A4.
Answer, please.
Orestes.
Orestes is incorrect. Hostile takeovers are common in the business world. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, sometimes they destroy the very company they take over. One ancient man definitely achieved philanthropies when his hostile takeover installed some foederati in the C-suite, exiled the CEO's 11-year-old Nepo son to Naples, ignored the board's recommendations by breaking with Zeno, and drove the Western Roman Emperor out of business in 476.
B4.
B4? Odoacer is correct.
We won.
And here's what special interest group led a hostile takeover of the Eastern Roman Empire when it sank the city of Constantinople in 1453 AD? Yes, that's correct. So that is 15 points for Team Wisconsin on top of points. And our final score is, after a compelling round,
At the end of the preliminary round, Team Pepe and the Johns finished with 85, Team Ludi Ludi Wisco finished with 50, and Team SQR finished with 80.
well done.